Hey, hi friends, welcome back again. This video, as I had told you earlier in my earlier videos, I would be explaining some new concept in my next recordings. So, this is a video which explains the intercompany sales process. So, we people have come across and heard about intercompany sales process, but usually we never know how to configure that in the SAP system. We might know what happens in an intercompany sales process, although, but it's rather confusing to configure it into the SAP system. Sometimes we get very much confused when doing so, and it can be a possibility that you never get correct for the first time. So you'll have to try it multiple times, and then only you would get a hand on it. So, firstly, let me try to explain the business process to you with the example of the companies that I have shown over here. So let's start directly. So the one that is marked in yellow at the top, I'm explaining you the enterprise structure as of now. How is the enterprise structure? I've taken example of two companies, ABCD and PQRS. Okay, so this is the corporate group ABCD, which is yellow. So this corporate group has two company codes. Okay, as you know, company code is a separate legal entity. So these separate legal entities belong to the ABCD corporate group. Okay, so there is one company called ABCD and second company code called as PQRS. Now each of these company codes would require sales organization, distribution channel and division to sell its product, because as you are aware of, there are many enterprise structure videos available on YouTube. You could refer those. I'm not going through them as of now. You could just refer them and know what is an enterprise structure. So enterprise structure is nothing but a replica of the organizational structure of a company into the SAP system. So you map the important organizational units which are responsible for carrying out business. So those organizational units are mapped into the SAP system, and then they are connected to each other so that to uh, create a virtual company in the SAP system, a virtual replica of the same company in the SAP system. So some just like that, we have like this company ABCD, and this is a structure for it. This is company PQRS, and this is a structure for it, organizational structure or the enterprise structure, as you may call it. So you have this company code, which is a separate legal entity, this company code, which is a separate legal entity. Legal entity means they carry out their businesses separately. Okay, so even they belong to the same corporate group, they carry out their businesses separately. They have their own profit and loss statements, and this company has its own PL and P&L statements. Okay, so different company code means if there is a transaction between this company and this company, it would involve, okay, different company code means that if ever there is a transaction between this company code and this company code which belong to the same corporate group, it would be a normal transaction wherein you have to pay for what you have bought. Okay, even though belong to the same corporate group, it is not transferred free of cost. So this company pays, if let's say this company buys from this company a particular product, it has to pay certain amount that is uh, allotted to that product to this particular company. Okay, so that is what the main difference of having a different company code or a different uh, legal entity means. So this is a company code and this is the second company code. Now this company code has a sales organization ABCD. So sales area means a combination of sales org, distribution channel and division. So for this also we have a sales area which takes care of sales activities for this company. So PQRS, PQ. So PQRS is the sales organization, distribution channel and division. Okay, so the sales organizations for each particular company takes care of all the sales activities that are happening for that company and responsible for the sales. So similarly, PQR is responsible for sales of the products manufactured by the company called PQRS. Now coming to the next enterprise unit or enterprise organizational unit, plant. So plant is the place where goods are stored and from where goods are distributed. Similarly, PQRS also has a plant from where goods are stored, the manufactured goods are stored and distributed. So each of the plants have a plant ABCD has a warehouse while PQRS has a storage location to store the material that is being manufactured. Okay, so this is the enterprise structure in short. Okay, consider a situation. Now this is the main company code from where a customer places an order. Usually a customer places an order. Let me enter a customer over here. Customer XYZ. Okay. So this is a customer. This customer places an order with company code ABCD for a particular material. Okay. So how does the intercompany sales process work? Now, if you directly supply the product, now the customer has placed an order with ABCD company. If the ABCD company satisfies this requirement by directly sending the material from its plant, okay, that would be a normal sales cycle. It won't be an intercompany sales process. Okay. Now consider a situation wherein this customer has placed an order with ABCD, but ABCD doesn't have enough stock, or it has stock which is reserved for other orders, and it cannot sacrifice this particular cost for this customer. But yeah, the second thing is that it also needs to satisfy the customer's requirement. Okay, so so at that time, it comes to know that there is stock in there is a stock of material available in plant PQRS of its other company code. So PQRS also manufactures the same products and it has certain stock of that material as well. Okay. So in that case, ABCD could procure the material from this plant and send it to sell it to the customer. So the material in this plant would come over here and from here it will go to customer. That is what will happen in an intercompany sales process or a cross company sales process. So what is happening here is that there is a cross company transaction happening. Now sales organization ABCD, which is part of the sales area ABCD AB is taking material from plant PQRS and satisfying this customer's requirement. Okay. So as you are aware, uh, sales organization can be assigned to only one company code, so it cannot be assigned to other company code. Similarly, plant can be assigned to only one company code, it cannot be assigned to another company code. But is it possible to assign a sales organization to a plant of different company? Well, the answer is yes, because without that it won't intercompany sales process wouldn't have been possible. So in the enterprise structure you need to assign the sales or distribution channel to the plant of another company code, okay, which is a required setting that you need to do before you progress or before you go ahead with the intercompany sales transaction. So this is one important configuration, SPRO configuration, that you need to perform before you go ahead with the intercompany sales setup in your system. Secondly, and obviously, you should know that the material that is being sold to this customer should be available in either of these plants, A, B, C, D, and PQRS. Because yeah, you know that it is being manufactured here as well as here. Okay. Usually, it sends the material from this plant, but this time you don't have stock for the material, so you are picking it from this plant and sending it to the customer. Okay. So the material that is in question should be available in this plant as well as this plant. So what does this mean in SAP terminology? It means that the material should be extended to plants A, B, C, D, and PQRS. Okay, so the material master data of the material that is there or which is being sold to the customer should be existing in both plants A, B, C, D, and PQRS. So I have a material created, a dummy material created called as ABCD1. Okay, so this material I have extended in both plants ABCD and PQRS, so that it could be we can show that it is being manufactured in both plants. So this is the SAP part that I'm talking about. Okay, and yes, I have mentioned over here sales organization ABCD should be linked to plant ABCD and PQRS. Okay, why ABCD? Because it generally procures from ABCD, that is the default plant for them. But if in case there is no stock in ABCD, they should also have the option of procuring it from a another company code's plant, that is PQRS. Okay, so that's why the second link, like linking ABCD with the sales org ABCD distribution channel AB with PQRS, is a important link. Okay, this is very much necessary whenever you um, configure a intercompany transaction. So this is our customer. This is the company code for to which the customer has placed an order. The company code is has a sales organization ABCD, which sees that there is no stock in our plant, in its procuring plant, in its own plant. So that's why it goes to another plant called as PQRS to and checks that there is some stock available there and it could be released to the customer. So it could take the stock from PQRS and sell it to the customer. But this being two different legal entities, there is a transaction going to happen between these two if ABCD wants the material from PQRS. Okay, so company ABCD has to pay a certain amount to company PQRS when it buys this product. Okay, so these are the basic configurations that you should do before you go ahead with setting up or configuring a intercompany sales transaction in SAPs. Okay, I've mentioned some steps as well. If you could see, link sales org ABCD and distribution channel AB to plant ABCD and PQRS so that it can procure material from both plants. Okay, this is what I have mentioned over here. The second step is material stored in plant ABCD and PQRS. Okay, so if you want the material to be manufactured or stored in both plants, then you need to extend the material to plants ABCD and PQRS. Third thing, sales organization ABCD, which belongs to company code ABCD, is an internal customer to PQRS. This is another important configuration step that you should be aware of. Okay, so now what is happening is that ABCD is becoming kind of an internal customer to PQRS company code, right? So ABCD is becoming a customer. So we are calling it internal customer because we belong to the same corporate group. So ABCD is kind of an internal customer to PQRS because you are buying the material from PQRS plant of this PQRS company code. So what you need to do to tell the system that ABCD is a customer for PQRS, there is a specific field available in the sales organization. In the sales organization setup called as internal customer number. Okay, so this field is available. So whenever you create a sales organization in the enterprise structure, you get a field called as internal customer number for that sales organization. So at the top you'll have a sales organization that you have created, and you also have a field called as internal customer number. Okay, in this field you need to enter a number which would represent this sales org or the company to which this sales org belongs as a customer. Okay, so how to do that? Okay, for that you need to check you need to create a customer for this company code because ABCD is a customer, right? So you need to create a customer using XD01 for company code PQRS. Okay, I'm creating a customer for company code PQRS. In the sales area, PQRS PQ, because I'm going to sell the material from this plant using this sales area to this company code. That is our internal customer. Okay. So what I'll do is that XD01 for company code PQRS, create a customer using XD01 for company code PQRS in sales area PQRS PQ PQ. So you might be aware of how to create a customer master, right? So create a customer master using XD01 for company code PQRS in sales area PQRS PQ PQ. Okay. For this company code, create a customer to represent this company code. Okay. So in sales area PQRS PQ. So when you save this customer, you will get a number, customer number. Okay. This customer number that you get needs to be assigned in the sales organization ABCD. In the internal customer field of sales org ABCD, you need to enter in this field that I had told just before 2 minutes. You need to enter the customer number that you have created. Okay, so that this customer number represents this company or this sales organization's company code. Okay, it might sound a little confusing to you right now, but when I get into the system, it'd be very much easier. Okay, so sales organization ABCD is an internal customer. Sales organization ABCD, which is nothing but the company code ABCD, is an internal customer to PQRS. So create a customer for company code in company code PQRS or for company code PQRS for its sales area PQRS PQ PQ. Okay, so we are creating a customer for this company code, which will be an internal customer, which will represent this company code in the sales area PQRS PQ, because this is the channel through which you will be selling the material to them. Okay, from this plant. Now assign the customer number generated in the above step to the sales org ABCD as internal customer number, so that the sales org ABCD is represented as an internal customer to the company code PQRS. So this is what I just explained. So that number should be assigned in the internal customer number for the sales org ABCD. You should assign that number into the internal customer number field, so that this ABCD is represented by this customer number. Okay. So yeah, and next thing is maintain price condition PI0, PI01, which is the intercompany price, and PR00, which is the customer price. Okay. So now keep in mind this company would have a specific price to this customer, end customer. Okay. At the same time, this company might charge a specific price to this company. Okay. So these both price are differentiated using the condition types in the pricing procedure, standard pricing procedure. Okay. So first one is the PR00 price, which is the end customer price. All right. And second one is the PI01 or 02, which is the intercompany price. Before you actually run the sales cycle, you need to do this configurations. All right. So these both prices should be maintained using VK11. Okay. As you know, VK11 is to, as a transaction, used to maintain a pricing condition record. Okay. So this price would be the end customer price, and this price would be the price that is being charged by this company to this company, PQRS to ABCD, for the material we are going to, the ABCD is going to procure from PQRS. So that is the price in PI01. So there can be a difference, of course. So in order to, there can be situations wherein intercompany sales is carried out in order to, you know, sell the materials which are not being sold from this plant PQRS at times. Even though this company has, this plant has stock, there can be situations that PQRS is having certain stock, but it is not being sold. So in that case, what this company will do is that it will procure material and sell it to the customer in that case. So it will be a win-win situation for this company code as well as this company code. Okay. So it can be the case that the price to the end customer might be $100, while price charged by the intercompany customer might be $60. So it is a profit situation for company called ABCD because it is earning $40 on this. It is getting a profit of $40. And at the same time, the stock from this company called PQRS is also getting cleared. So it is a win-win situation for this company code, this company code at the same time, which belong to the same corporate group. So such reasons can also be a possibility to have an intercompany sales coming into picture. Okay, so this is regarding the condition type. Okay, standard pricing procedure. The pricing procedure that I'm going to use is RVAAUS. This standard pricing procedure already has both these conditions present. Okay, so now this is how the sales cycle goes. Create a sales order. Once this configuration is done, once this total configuration is done, the process goes in this fashion: sales order, delivery. With reference to this delivery, we create an invoice, end customer invoice, and after this invoice is created, then only you could create the intercompany invoice. Okay, so these are the steps that will come into picture. That will be coming into picture: sales order, delivery, invoice, and then intercompany invoice. Okay, I'll show that to you in the system. Before that, let me mention one more point. Uh, After these many configurations, after you have done all these configurations, there is one more configuration called as assign plans to sales orgs for internal costing. This is also an important assignment. Assign plans to sales org for internal costing. I'll show you the menu path of where these configurations from this point till this point are located. So 3 to 6 would be located at the same place. 1 and 2, like you very well know how to extend the material to a plant, and linking a sales org to a plant, sales org division to a plant is done in the enterprise structure. Okay, I'll show the menu path for each of them and show you how I have done the configuration. So I have used the same terminology over there so that you could relate it easily. Assign plans to the sales organization for internal costing. So this is what I was talking about. So this is very important step because this step plays an important role. So you need to assign a plant to sales org, distribution channel, and division. Okay, a plant. So this plant that you have over here, which is for intercompany processing, this plant PQRS needs to be assigned to the sales area through which it is selling the product. PQRS, PQ, PQ, PQ. Okay, so this setting has to be there in this particular configuration, because without which when an intercompany invoice is created, it won't be able to determine a sales org. You'll get an error like sales org not determined. Okay, because if you could see, this invoice would be for sales org ABCD, AB. Okay, but this invoice would be for sales area PQRS, PQ, and PQ. Okay, secondly, the customer in the first invoice would be XYZ customer, the end customer, while the customer in the second would be the internal customer number that we have assigned to the company called ABCD. Okay, hope you have got it, and it might be rather confusing. So I suggest let's go into the SAP system to understand this better. Okay, so let me show you all these configurations into the SAP system. So this is the login page, the easy access menu which I had told you. Okay, please note that the easy access menu would have all the transactional T codes available or options available over here, but the configuration guide or the implementation guide is located in another screen altogether, so which is the SPRO screen. So the transaction for accessing that is SPRO. So all the configurations that you do would be done in the SPRO transaction code. Okay, let me show you the enterprise structure first of all. EC01 structure, navigation. So here I have my company ABCD first of all. So this is the company code and these are the details for it. Okay, so this is the company code ABCD. This is the group. Then you have the company code. These are the credit control area. You have the plant, sales org, purchasing organization. So this way I have defined the structure for it. Let's look out for my another company. I mean, this is to, another company code for my corporate group. It's PQRS. So it also has its own structure. This is the company code. This is the controlling area. This is the credit control area. Plant, you have sales org and purchasing organization. So now let's go back and check the first setting. So how do we link the sales org distribution channel to the plant? So here, if you see, assign sales org distribution channel to plant. This one. I'll get into this and I'll show how I have linked ABCD. So ABCD, ABCD. So you could see these first two lines which are very important. Forget about the third one. So ABCD, AB can procure material from the sales org ABCD, and if it gets an order from a customer, it can procure the material from plant ABCD. Secondly, it can also the same distribution channel can also procure the order from the plant, the intercompany or the cross company plant PQRS as well. Okay, so you can see plant sales org. So this is the way you need to have this setup into the system before you go ahead. Okay, this is the first setup that I had done. Secondly, material stored in plants ABCD and PQRS. That means material should exist in both plants. I'll directly show you the table for materials slash n SE16 MARD is the table for material. So let me tell you what all plants the material exists in. So it's the material ABCD1 which I had created. Plant is, I won't enter the plant. Let's see what all plants the material exists into. See, ABCD exists in, this is plant, okay? Works means plant, and this is storage location. It exists in ABCD plant, storage location 001. It also exists in plant ABCD and storage location ABCD. It exists in the same material exists in plant PQRS as well, which means that it is manufactured in both ABCD and PQRS. Note these two lines. It exists in plants PQRS and ABCD. Okay, that means the material is being manufactured in both plants, which is an indication of that. Third thing, sales organization ABCD is an internal customer to PQRS. Okay, so as I told you, we will be creating a customer for company code PQRS, which will represent the company code ABCD. And if you are creating a customer code for PQRS, it should be in the sales area of the company code that you are creating a customer for. So it will be PQRS PQPQ. So I have created a customer and the customer number is 117. Okay, which I am going to use it to represent the internal customer number for sales org ABCD. So let me show you the customer number slash and XD03. So the customer number is 117, and let me take the sales area PQRS PQ. Okay, I've created this customer for this sales area. So this should the customer in the partner function should have the pair partner functions assigned to it. Okay, so see, I've given the name as well, ABCD internal customer. So this customer number is going to represent the customer number, so that it would be easier for me to know like what is the use of this customer. So I have created this customer specifically for internal transaction, internal intercompany transactions. Okay, and even given the name to represent which company code. Okay, so ABCD company code is being represented by 117. Let me show you the sales area setup. I have just done the normal setup. I have just entered the pricing procedure, customer pricing procedure, which is a mandatory field and which would be required for us, because without which a pricing procedure won't be determined when doing intercompany transaction, intercompany billing. Okay, so enter the pricing procedure. The other details like from which plant this will the material be sent to this customer and so on and so forth. Go to the billing tab. You need to enter the tax classification, the credit control area. I mean, none of these fields are required, although not mandatory, but this field is mandatory. You just need to enter it. And then going to the partner file, should have the pair partner functions. You could have all the partner functions, that is not an issue, but 117 would be assigned as a partner function pair, which is required. Without which billing, you would have issues in intercompany billing.